Hi, everybody. Michelle Tennant Nicholson here. We're doing the series Meet a Friend from Friends of East Flat Rock. And today I've got Ellen Reed with me. So everybody, please meet Ellen Reed. Hi, Ellen.
Hello. Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Thanks for doing this for after work. And anybody else who wants to squeeze in something like what Ellen's doing, you'll see my link to my calendar in the description. You just sign up and just say Friends of East Flat Rock. What we're talking about is who you are, Ellen, what you do for a living, how long you've been in East Flat Rock, and why you oppose the asphalt plant.
I will be happy. I am an advanced practice nurse and have had a really diverse and wonderful career. We moved to Henderson County 25 years ago, and at that point I became director of nursing services at Pardee Hospital. I had about 5 areas of responsibility, and after spending 10 years in that work, I moved on to be a consultant overseeing large electronic documentation projects that required clinical people who could determine the best practice standards for documentation.
And I mean, you're the boss's boss. I mean, you're like, I'm the daughter of 2 nurses, you should know. So
yes.
My father, before he passed, worked at the Veterans Administration Hospital of Louisville for many, many years. And before that, the Ireland Hospital in Fort Knox. We're a military family.
Yes.
And so you would have been like the major boss. Like that. He would have been the one that you were complaining about when he came home, right?
Probably so. So 7 years ago, we moved to East Flat Rock. After being here for all those years before, we decided we would build a house that would be our last home, where we would, it's 1 level and enables us to get old here. And we want to stay here forever. So lo and behold, in June, I meet Michelle, and she tells me that we need to work together and oppose the building of an asphalt plant on previously zoned community commercial property. Being a very particular person in life, I researched everything before we built this house. And we knew about the Henderson County plan. We knew there was an East Flat Rock plan. And we knew that we would be safe here in the future because all of those documents supported the same lifestyle that we were hoping for as we got old. Not that I'm old now, but as we get old.
That is really smart to think about. I mean, I really commend you for thinking about the levelness of the house and that would empower you to get older that way. That's brilliant. But of course, as a nurse, you would think through that, right?
Yes.
And that, I mean, we checked out the zoning for sure, and I participated with the planning of East Flat Rock, but I didn't read the plan with the context of, does this mean, that we would be safe inside? I just figured the zoning would keep us safe. So that's really fascinating to me that you did all that work like that. That's amazing. What else? Why else do you oppose the asphalt plant, Ellen? And since we've been working together since June, I wish we had met on different circumstances. But now that we're friends, tell me. I don't even know that I know everything that you've done.
Well, early on, I kind of made myself an insider into the research piece and also outreach. So my thoughts were, as they often are, let's put the dots together on this issue. Who else might in fact have a dog in this fight? And I thought of the people in the apple growing industry and the wine industry, anyone who might find pollution offensive for their lifestyle and their business. I also reached out to folks in the health industry because Dr. Craig Poole happens to be the chair of the Board of Health right now, and was very happy to share my thoughts with him. And he encouraged me that, he personally would not want an asphalt plant anywhere near residents. And we have a lot of aging residents. We have some young folks. We have people who don't have the ability to have a voice because of just who they are and their own limitations. And I always felt in my life, if I was blessed with an education, I needed to share it. And so
agreed.
this has been my cause for the last several months, is to be an active member of the opposition.
Yes, and it could be, nurses are from a particular cloth of service. And perhaps it's the family that I grew up in that, a bunch of Florence Nightingales, right? My father read the Bible every day, very religious. And just, I was raised with the spirit of service. That your purpose in life was to help your neighbor.
Yes.
And so I'm delighted that our partnership and our friendship has given other people support and a voice where they might not otherwise have one. I also want you to talk a little bit about the last meeting, Thursday, August 20th.
Yes.
And we really had a lot of concerns. I'm caring for my 84-year-old mother in my house here in East Flat Rock. That's new for me. It's been, as you can imagine, she, it's not always fun. I love being with my mother, and I'm just nervous about everything, like who comes to the door, where I go, am I going to bring, the COVID home to her? I have like this it's the stress that's probably, for others, they kind of go, I don't understand. But you in particular kind of helped us check out, could I actually even go and participate on the 20th? And so tell me about that work, because you called a bunch of people and spoke to a bunch of people, really like making sure that everything was pandemic safe for the friends who did show up on the 20th.
It certainly wasn't a perfect situation, because in my heart of hearts, I don't believe that any of us should be in a public environment.
Agreed.
And, especially if you couldn't depend on people to wear masks or follow guidelines. Fortunately, our planning board was very diligent in trying to keep a distance between us and be mindful of everybody's health issues. But ideally, we would have rather have been on Zoom and be in the comfort of our own home. I am immunocompromised as well, and I am not as worried today as I would have been like 6 months ago when I was still undergoing chemotherapy. But it is a major concern to be next to people who may carry disease.
Yeah, I just, I can't emphasize that enough, that I just find it cruel to put a community through a zoning process in a pandemic. That nobody will change my voice on that one. That's my opinion. I find it incredibly stressful.
Yeah, I think even bigger, the issue that I faced when I first heard about it is not so much in light of COVID, but if you look at the whole of the people who are living in this environment, they've worked really hard their entire life, and they don't deserve this level of stress. This great unknown of what's going to happen to the one last thing of security that they own. And especially in that it isn't an area zoned for industry. I believe in process, and I believe everybody has a right to attempt to do what they need to do, and so Mr. Shipman believes he needs to do this for his own business purpose, but not at the expense of another human being.
Ex- So you've always articulated everything so well. Thank you for writing all of the letters to the editor. How many of your letters actually got published by the Times
A
News?
few, yeah, they have.
Yeah.
Um, I, yeah, I even got my hand slapped for one, but always being kind, always being clear in our motive, and always asking everybody else to be responsible and accountable for what they were writing.
You've always been so articulate and so mindful of how you treat other people. I want to just share. There was a thing that I here's what it is. I'm gonna share my screen. So
Okay.
yesterday I shared this in the Facebook page, the group. Raise your words, not your voice. It is rain that grows flowers, not thunder. And you embody that for me.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From the beginning of just
Ooh,
there's something about you that reminds me of my dad. I've always felt really close to nurses. And so having always like, well, what does Ellen say about the health impact of this? And what does Ellen say? And I haven't really always acknowledged you for that. And so I just am really blessed to have all of you, right? Whether it's, in my mind, it's like Ellen's going to do the health piece, Gary's going to do the science piece, Ron's
yes.
going to do the outreach piece, Terry's going to do the Highland Hills neighborhood piece. Or like, there's so many people that have come together, right? Clyde and Judy and
It's
Linda.
amazing.
It is amazing, and I'm so very grateful. And yesterday they said that they had a date for September. Today it looks like it might even be October. So we're dancing really with
Okay.
what the board wants. And so all I know that we're doing for the foreseeable future is we do have a plan in place that we created last Monday. We'll continue these meet your neighbor, meet your friend. I also, I don't know if you remember, Ellen, but one of the things we wanted to do is I had a really nice chat with John Mitchell at August 20th, and he acknowledged us.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
so today, with the blessing of our lawyer, I didn't want to do anything that would be compromise anybody, but I took some of my honey and
Oh,
I
you
gave
did.
it to
Good.
the planning staff, not to
Yes. Yes.
commissioners, not to the planning board, because that would be kind of seen as distasteful,
Right.
but just to the staff who've been working so hard to process all of our emails and whatnot. I took my honey and we did. I think I said what we came up with as a group is the Lorax speaks for the trees. Friends of East Flat Rock speaks for my bees.
Oh,
So my bees in the backyard, so it
that's
gave them
sweet.
some honey. So hopefully they'll enjoy that with their tea at the office.
It's
And
lovely. I don't know if I ever mentioned to you, but I just published a book in May.
oh, that's
And
right, you did.
and I just published it when all this started to happen. And my book is called Someone to Watch Over You, Finding Your Strength Within. And it kind of does resound around what we're all doing, and that is defining yourself, making sure you are who you want to be, healing your losses, finding your resilience, and making certain that you put everything to its best use.
This is great. I remembered when you said it launched, and then I forgot about it because it was right around my birthday when we were
Right.
actually talking about it. But how can people find this, Ellen?
It's on Amazon. It's also it's on Amazon in paperback and also in most of the electronic versions in the world. Not only Amazon's electronic version, but there's international ones as well. And locally, I have it at the Agape Salon.
Oh, isn't that great?
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna follow you. That's
Oh,
great.
nice.
The best thing that you can do for an author, everybody, is to give a review. Even if all you can do is just buy the Kindle version, what helps an author out is giving a review. It looks like you have some nice reviews already.
I do.
So
Thank you.
yeah, good. Well, thank you for remembering that. That is very important to let our neighbors know about your book, especially,
Yes.
that it's coming out at this time. So have you had an experience with loss of any kind? Do you have a life-changing diagnosis? Has there been a death of a family member, a friend, a pet? Have you attempted to avoid the pain of grief? Did you lose your job, an ideal, or a dream for the future? These are, it's really great.
Mhm.
I look forward to reading it, Ellen.
Thank you. Great. I
Yeah,
hope you do.
yeah.
I'm very proud of it.
It's, I had a book in the works that this whole process has set aside.
Mm.
I have very little time to myself anymore. I can't even get my exercise in like I want to. So I'm really going to be grateful when this is over. We don't have control over what happens, but we have control over how we react to what happens. So
Exactly.
I fight for my neighbors who can't move. That's what,
That's right.
because I
That's
can
right.
move, but I'm fighting for, the widows of next door to me, that this is their forever home. Like you're saying, there's a lot of people in East Flat Rock. This is their forever home. And I
Mhm.
think about Mr. Reese, who's over there in Grimesdale, a veteran
Yes.
who has served our country and now has to
Yeah.
live his final days next to an asphalt plant. And hearing how frustrated he is that he can't go out on his back porch because of the particulates that cover his back porch. Um, breaks my heart. I think that
Exactly.
we can
And
do
it may
better.
be worthy, since I am a nurse and I am a bit of an epidemiologist. Um, it's not just, soot. It's microscopic or nanoparticles that can embed your lungs, your brain, cause cancer, cause mutations to our future generations. It is long lasting. It's not a walk in the park or an occasional puff of pollution from a car. This is long standing, both diesel, and now we learn that they're going to recycle old asphalt. That's a whole other ballgame of pollution that I've learned in our reading. So it really can't happen. And I pray every night that our county commissioners will recognize that.
And that we just stand up as a community overall, every community, and making sure that our businesses are like John Mason says on our, he's the cattle farmer by Grimsdale. And you can see all these interviews on our YouTube channel at
Yes.
friendsofeastflatrock.org. Just go on the upper left hand corner and there's the Facebook page, and then right next to it is the YouTube link, the little icon. You just click on that. John Mason was like, it deserves to be an industrial park, away from residential community. And that's what that's all we're asking for, is that we honor that the zoning that's put in place be kept. So any final words for you, Ellen? That was a really good.
My final word is a very big thank you to you and your husband, Shannon, for the incredible work that you have done. You've tolerated all of us, all our different creature comforts, and managed to pull us through till today.
I appreciate the acknowledgement, and I will bask in the glow of that acknowledgement day to day. I think that if people like just today, I got a nasty
Mm.
note, and it's causing me to have thicker skin, and to um,
Mm-hmm.
to be more resilient in the face of people's humanity. So it's okay.
Yes.
I'm praying a lot.
Yes.
So, like, creator God, please let them reflect on what they're doing, because I can. I'm just letting go and letting God, because I
Yeah.
can't anymore. I'm full with our work, taking care of my mom. I've got a 17-year-old dog. I've got my own health stuff, like we shared
Mm-hmm.
about before the call. And it's awesome to have people like you around. We're doing this together. And so, let people make fun of us, let people accuse us, let people do whatever. What we know we're doing is fighting for what we invested years to protect: our farms, our homes, our livelihood, our passions of living in the mountains. And that's what I'm fighting for.
And the people around us. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And for Clyde Guerin's kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't know these
Exactly.
kids, but we're fighting for them for the future. So,
Mm-hmm.
all right, Ellen, thank you so much. I will then see you Monday at our 7 p.m. meeting.
Yes, you will.
Okay, have
Thank
a
you,
wonderful
Michelle.
weekend.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye.